Assalamu alaikum. This is the second video, and this video will be on limiting reagents and access reagents. So limiting and access reagents are essentially what you would find in your equation and your experiment. So your limiting reagent is what you would be used up before once to end the experiment, and your access reagent would be what would be left over from the experiment. So in your first example, in your example, one question would be 1.2 grams of oxygen is reacted with 0.5 grams of hydrogen. What is the LR? So in this equation, you're trying to find the limiting reagent. So what you do first is balance your equation. So that would be H2 plus O2 becomes H2O. A 2 would go in front of the H2O and a 2 would go in front of the H, and that is your balanced reaction. Step 2, what you need to do is take your grams and divide it by the grams per mole. So that would be 0.5 grams divided by 2.02 grams per mole, which would have come from your H2, and this would equal 0.247. This would be your actual, and then you would also find your oxygen, which would be 1.2 over 32.00, which would equal 0.0375. That would be your actual as well. So now you have 0.247 and 0.0375. What you need to do now would be step 3. You would take 0.247 and 0.27 mole of H2. So similar to the last video, you'd multiply that with 2H, which you'd get from your balanced equation, and over that you'd put 1 O2 since you're trying to find O2, and that would equal 0.12375, and that is your first answer. So then you'd need to find your H2. So you'd essentially flip the numbers around. Now you would use 0.0375 moles of O2. Multiply that with 1 O2 and 2 H2, since that's what you're trying to find, and that would equal, after multiplying it, you'd cross these out. You would get 0.75 moles of H2. Now what you need to do is compare your answers to your actuals and see which one is less. Whichever one would be less from your actual would become your LR. In this case, your answer 0.12375 moles of O2, that is less than both numbers, while 0.75 would be the excess due to it being significantly more than your actuals. So then this would become your required, also known as LR. So now your final step is to simply write your answer, which would be since the required O2 0.12375 mole is greater than the actual uh, 0.0375. Your O2 would be the LR or limiting reagent. So in this video, what you were able to figure out is how to calculate your LR and your excess reagent. So in the next video, in our final video, we will figure out how to do percent yield and figure out our theoretical yield as well.